Yeah, there's a lot of unique things about Temple Square. First of all, it's an all sisters mission, so there are no elders. So that means that there's sister district leaders, sister zone leaders, sister assistants. There's a bunch of different callings or assignments, I would say. And I think that that's one of the most amazing and unique opportunities about Temple Square, is that you get to learn all these different leadership qualities and how to lead a district, how to teach a group of missionaries. And I think that that is one of the things that has prepared me the most for after my mission, is being able to serve in those leadership responsibilities. Another thing is being on Temple Square all day, every day. You're on Temple Square for about 15 months of your mission. It gets split up in the middle between what you call an outbound, where you get your name goes back to the general authorities, and they reassign you to another mission for 2 transfers. So you go to another mission. I went to San Antonio, Texas. I loved every minute of it. And then I came back for the last 3 transfers of my mission to Temple Square. And I think that that's an amazing opportunity that we have, not only to go out and learn and experience what a proselyting mission is like, but also to bring back the strengths from all these different missions and bring them and implement them into the Temple Square mission. I know that the general authorities and that the apostles and that the Lord has great purposes and usefulness for visitor centers, because there are millions of people who come to visitor centers every year who have never even heard of the gospel. And it's an amazing opportunity for them to be able to go back and to meet with other local missionaries. And so to bring all those strengths from all these different missions and implement them into a visitor center mission really strengthens and uplifts the mission. Along with that, there's also, you have all your companions generally, if you're American or from all different countries. I had companions from over 10 different countries, because you get almost a new companion every transfer. And that was an amazing opportunity. I loved it. You get to learn from so many different cultures. You also get to teach in those languages, which is way fun, especially when in certain languages, like the more common languages like Spanish and Portuguese and Mandarin and stuff, you get to take chats in those languages as well. And so it's really fun to be able to learn to work with your companion on how to teach in these languages that you don't know. Sounds kind of silly, but it works. I have a very strong testimony of the gift of tongues, because I can say probably about 80% of what investigators said or what my companion said in these other languages I understood. And I was able, I didn't respond in their languages. I didn't just randomly start speaking in Chinese, but I was able to respond in English, and my companion would translate. And it was even a testimony to them of the power of the Spirit and what it has to teach us. Another unique thing about Temple Square is that we don't cover a ward. So it's all, the ward that you go to each Sunday is just your mission. And your bishop is your mission president. And so you go to sacrament meeting every Sunday morning at 7:30 a.m. and you have an hour-and-a-half long sacrament meeting, and then you go out to the square and work. So you don't have Sunday school, and we have Relief Society on an earlier day of the week morning too, also early. And that's an amazing opportunity too, because every week sisters give their farewell talks, and the Spirit is just so strong. I remember my first Sunday sitting down in Fast and Testimony meeting, and as soon as our mission president invited us to come and share our testimonies, probably about 75% of the sisters stood up and went up to go bear their testimony. And I knew from that moment on that if I didn't stand up within the first 2 seconds, I wasn't getting up to bear my testimony that Sunday. Also, including, since we don't cover a ward, you make all your own meals, which is something that's interesting too. So you do get a higher missionary funds budget than most missions. When I was there, we got about $220 a month, and it was plenty enough to cover food, because a lot of the foreign sisters, they love to cook. Especially with your companion. If most of my foreign companions, we would just go in and buy food together, and my foreign companions love to cook, so we would just cook together and have a bunch of beans and rice with my Brazilian companion, and a bunch of other food with my other country companions. So it's really fun, especially when you go down to the basement where the mission office is, where the kitchen is, where you eat lunch and dinner. There's just a ton of sisters who are always like trying to give you their country's food, and so you get to try a bunch of different food as well. You should always try it. Just so you can have that cultured experience. But it's amazing. It's an amazing mission. I love it so much.